Welcome, Namaste. Welcome to another talk show, Talk with Gulshan Bafna. Today we have Sushil Mehta, sir. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
Let me introduce him to you guys. He has changed the myth of doing business in Marwadi community. Not only by growing the family business, but also with the entire family support, growing a new brand identity in the town at a very young age. He has now various business such as Jain Car Shoppe, used car showroom, Mahindra and Mahindra, Hyundai, Nissan, luxury used car showroom, Jain Car Care, multiple car workshop in various parts of Tamil Nadu, giving a direct employment to more than 700 plus members. He has bagged various awards in career and social life, and he has received mostly from the topmost management of the respective organization. He is passionate about singing and knows to live his life with value system. Happily married with Lalita. He is blessed with 2 children and leading a jovial life with his mother. Welcome to the talk show, sir. It is a privilege to host you.
Thank you, Gulshan. Thanks for inviting me for this show. Good evening, everybody. It's really a delight and privilege to talk to all of you or share my thoughts to all of you through this modem.
The talk show is of, we'll have a normal 5 to 6 question rounds, and then in the end, we will have a rapid fire round. Are you excited for the talk show, sir?
Very, very much excited. I'm really delighted to be on this show.
Coming from a typical Marwadi joint family, what made you start something out of the box?
Well, that's quite a really wonderful question. See, like a typical Marwadi family, I also joined my family business, which was actually a automobile hire purchase business. We were operating from the well-known market of Chennai Sokarpet area, where generally our community lives, and most of them are into this finance business.
Correct.
So we were operating from a 200 square feet of area with 2 employees, and the first floor, second floor was the residence, and ground floor was the office. My life, I was actually enjoying that because there is no much work to do. But the life changed when I joined an organization by name Alma Mater.
Okay.
In that, there were several, it was a leadership organizations, and the concept of that organization is it actually kindles your inner self. They used to give topics like I'm proud of I, why. So this topic actually changed my I am proud of I, why. And when I looked inside me, there was nothing like that. And that has all and there were values which says it does not matter how much you have. What really matters is what you do with what you have. I was a very ordinary boy, but all these topics has churned me downside up, and that has created a thought for me to start this business. And in 2000, I started Jain's Car Shoppe, well against the wishes of my family, because there were no overheads and straight away going into a big overheads of business. So it took quite a time for me to convince my family. But yes, of course, now this is a history, and I'm really delighted and happy to do that.
It should be such a blessing to get an opportunity of an leadership organization where it kindles more of things. It's surely a blessing of your parents. I could very much
Exactly, definitely, yes.
The next question is, I have a huge belief that to be a successful in career life, you need to be peaceful in personal life. What's your take and advice to the younger generation on this?
Yes, of course. My philosophy is both profit and peace should go hand in hand. You cannot be you have to be peacefully successful. If you're not peaceful at home, then definitely the aggression and the best of you cannot come at your work. So my belief is one has to be all role wonder. All role means every individual has several roles as a family person, his personal life, social, spiritual. So one has to balance all the roles of their life. And only with that, he can be termed as a successful person. So basically, actually, I divide my day into three aspects. The morning is purely for my personal, where I took care of my health and my connect with the spiritual.
Okay.
And after 10 o'clock, that is the work hours, where I just do business like nobody else. At that time, there is no personal time and there is no family time.
Okay.
But after 7 o'clock, it's only family time. There is no business talk in my at home. So with that, I believe that has really helped me. And since I am peaceful, I'm able to perform much better in my career. I will like to tell all youngsters that yes, they have passions, but they go behind money. Yes, that is very, very important. One has to earn money, but at the same time, that cannot be at the cost of the family or personal health. One has to be healthy, one has to be blissful, one has to be giving time to the family, to the social connects, and parallelly, he has to do his work. So
And
one
you
has to balance all the roles.
you have a very good time management in your life. Knowingly or unknowingly, you have a very good time management. I good that having your work time at work and have family time at family would release your stress out and do wonderful wonderness or very good progress in life. That should be a very good.
Exactly. And there is no rocket science. You can divide it easily. Morning hours, then after 10 to 7, and after 7. That's it. Once you divide and you have a discipline about that, I think it's easy. It's not a big rocket science, I believe.
Thank you. Thank you. So the next question is, how do you manage day-to-day business life as you have multiple businesses in multiple locations across Tamil Nadu by sitting in Chennai?
That's bullseye questions. Most of the people ask me this question because all my businesses are surrounding Chennai, where I sit personally. See, my concept is very simple. I am aware that if I sit at one place and do my business, I can do 110%, no doubt on that.
Exactly.
And when person does at one of the place where I am not sitting, my expectation from his is only 70%.
Okay.
Because I know I can be at only one place at one time. I cannot be at all the places. So if I have to outperform my potential, I have to have people at several places where even though the result has to be 100%, but if they deliver 70%, I'm happy. Today I'm operating from more than 25 locations. So multiply 25 into 70, it's somewhere around 2000% of my potential I'm doing. Whereas if I be at one place, I'll be doing only 110%, or even I strive more, I can give the result of only 120%.
Correct.
So with this philosophy or this concept of mine, which is working very good for me, I'm able to do 2000%. And today there are more than 700 direct employees with me, who is working for me, who is working with me. And of course, you have to give freedom the person who is sitting there, and there with a disciplines. You should have your systems all in place. The person sitting there should know what they can do. There will be powers given up to certain levels. They can decide on their own. And there will be systems placed where the decisions which has to come to me, it comes to me. Okay. So small decisions and all they take on their own, and it do not disturb me in my day-to-day affairs. And that actually is working good for me, and today I'm able to do that.
I could see, coming from a Marwadi community, even losing 1 rupee would burn their entire day's life. Even if they have made 1,000 rupees, and if they lose 1 rupee, the day is gone and they are stressed out. But being there and having a leadership alma mater where it has given you a very good exposure, it has given you 2000 times of your potential. That is a very good learning for the younger generation to have.
Exactly. For that reason only, I said that you have to prepare your mind that the person sitting there will do only 70%. That will not give you heartburns or headaches. What happens generally that we expect that they should also do 100%, and in that we also lose manpower, and we have to keep struggling ourselves. If you prepare that the result will be only this, then you are happy. So exactly. That my expectation is less, so I'm peacefully I'm able to do and keep on adding my locations.
That should be a wonderful learning to the next generation people, or even to the your line of generation people who are suffering. This would give a very good impact in being peacefully progress.
Exactly.
Has anything disturbed you in your career life or setbacks? How did you overcome it?
Of course, yes. If you do business, be prepared. There will be setbacks. There are situations where what you decides, the results may not be according to right. But in my opinions, not all decisions are right. You have to make your decisions right. So with that concepts, of course, there were many a times many setbacks. The locations what I have decided was not good, it went wrong, so we have to change the decisions. So like that there were several setbacks. It's not that if you do business there will be setbacks, but I work on a very simple philosophy. Again, the entire credit goes to my guru Mahatria and the path infinitism, where they have told that everything is good, all for good. Whatever happens happens for good. If you are a right minded, right conscious persons and your intentions are good, wrong will not happen to you. Everything's we in our vicinity, we may not know why it's happening. So what happens generally, we think, oh, why this has happened to us, and we go into all that stress. But here what I have learned is whatever happens is happens for good. We do not know at this times. Only over a period we'll come to know why this happened, and it's good for me. And I can validate this statement in whatever happens in my life, whenever setbacks happens, and how I handle with this formula. And today when I look back, all the decisions, all the things which has happened was good for me. In fact, that was much needed. And when I think that this is happening for good, that itself makes me come out of the stress, and I am able to take a next decisions. So you have to keep on, when you are into business, you take a decisions, it do not go right, then you have to take another decisions to make that decisions right. So I used to keep peacefully, I used to take decisions, and that keep on make me go up and up, forward and forward.
Making a consecutive correct decisions leads you, it makes you to get back of your setback and get back to your progress to your target, to be precise.
Exactly. But the mindset should be whatever happens for the good, and you have to really feel that. You have to feel that if any setback is happening, there is something good for me in that. You have to find out the positive and think positive from that, and that will make you peacefully take good decisions.
Okay, the next one is if I have a new business idea, what should I do about it?
If you have a business idea, definitely you have to execute. Of course you have to execute, but what happens is we don't do there is a word called SWOT analysis, SWOT.
Correct.
That is strength, weakness, opportunities and threats.
Correct.
You have to do, if your investment is quite high in the business idea, then definitely you have to do that SWOT analysis. Even when I ventured into my new car business, it's quite a big investment. I never hesitated to talk to the veterans in the industries, to the bankers who were serving these industries. I took advisors, I took feedback, and then after that, see, there will be people who will be giving you negative advice also.
Correct.
Take that, then you do your SWOT analysis. There is a saying which says, "Suno sabki, karo man ki."
Correct.
You listen to everybody, understand, find all the words, and then do your analysis. And after that, if you, everything is your inner conscious. After that, if your gut says yes, go for it, you must go for it.
Okay.
Ultimately, it's all your conscious and your gut feel.
So it is
when
not
I started James, I started with all the gut feel, and today God's grace, that was the best of my life's decision.
So if you have an idea, you should speak to the people, industrialist or that respective that industry, and get their ideas. It is not to keep with ourselves, and work on ourselves. So that leads to the negativity of it. You should speak to the people.
Definitely. You must speak to self because it's your hard and money is invested, your time will be invested. So many things are there. Today, younger generations has passion, but they do not know the background of it. And they don't want to speak also. This I'm telling because the younger generations, many of younger generations whom I am interacted, they just say, no, I will do it.
Okay.
You do it. But never ever hesitate to talk to the people in the industry, to the veterans from the industry.
Okay.
Do your analysis. Definitely, you must do your analysis. And then after that, what your gut feel says, go ahead for it.
What are the top 3 tips that younger businessmen or the entrepreneur should work on?
Top 3 tips. Again, there is no rocket science, and at the same time, there is no shortcut to success.
Exactly.
Whoever it does, whether it is younger or anybody, there is one formula, TVS, trust, value, and service. These 3 things, whatever business you are in, you have to follow them. Trust, you have to create trust in your customers. The customer should feel that they have come at the right place. You have to create that ambience, you have to create that feel into their mind.
Okay.
Once you are able to do that, definitely you need not have to spend a lot of money into marketing or to bring people into your place. The word of mouth is the highest marketing thing, and that will speak.
Exactly.
And second is value. See, Indians are very smart people. Indians are really smart people. You cannot sell them by telling a product it's cheap, but you can sell them anything if you give a value to that product.
Okay.
You should you should make them feel that what you are giving them has a value. In fact, the value is better than the money what they are paying. If you are able to create that value, your sale is immediate. Of course, the quality has to be there. You have to sell quality, because quality only will make you go on a longer run. Bad quality, you can do business in short term, but for the long term, definitely quality has to be there. So the quality comes in the value of the product. And the third, service, which is very, very important. And that one thing will make you or will differentiate you from the competition. The service, personalized service you give to your customers will differentiate you from your competition. Because what all I'm telling, there are people in the market also does the same thing. They also create trust, they also create a value, they also give a quality product.
Correct.
But how personally you handle your customer, how customer centric you are, you have to feel with the customer.
Okay.
If you are able to do that, then definitely nobody can stop you in winning.
Exactly.
Trust, service. These 3 things are very, very important. You have to be customer centric.
That's a very good insight to the younger generation, because we generally, they say Indian is a money market. It's a price sensitive market. But I've also seen, if you have the value in the product, price is the byproduct. So it is automatically.
Exactly.
That's a very good insight.
I am of very clear opinion that to Indians, you cannot sell a product by telling it's cheap.
Okay.
You have to tell it's a value.
Okay.
The money what you're paying, it has a value, or it is more than the value of money you're paying. Then only you can sell the product.
In simple, it says if your brand is trustable, it means you have given a wonderful value. So the product is sold. To get it a repeat sale or the purchase, you have to give an exclusivity service. So that is, I think, so that has been a very good formula in your life, from where you have been a 2-wheeler hire purchase to a multi-car used and a new car dealership business that have come to this level. Let's say from 1 crore turnover to 500 crore turnover now, that should have been a very good growth. And this should be a very good tip for the next generation.
Thank you. And I'm talking out of my own experience. Today, see, in used cars, every car is unique. If you have bought one car, in new car, demo car is seen and the new car is sent through from garage. The customer don't see the car which he is buying.
Correct.
They see some other car and take the new car from the godown. Whereas in used car, The car which you buy has to be seen. Every car is unique.
Correct.
But today, because of this trust value service, I get call from my customers. They just tell this is my budget and this is the model or this type of vehicle they want, and they leave the decision to me. I decide on their behalf and send the car to them, and they are more than happy.
Okay.
And I feel more responsible when you call me and tell, boss, I want a car worth 10 lakhs rupees and I need a 7-seater car. I take this as my personal responsibility. I become more responsible to give them the right product. And today, touchwood, most of the customers are calling me and just giving me the budget and these things, and I select and our team selects and send the car to that place. They don't even come to my showroom to see the car.
So that is how you have come out of the myth from the Marwadi community and build your own brand in a town at a very young age. That was a very insights of your experience, your years of experience coming in a very short time. As the questions are getting to a point, let's enter into the rapid fire round. Let's keep it very simple at 1 or 2, 3 words of answers so that we have multiple things to be answered. What is your biggest motivation in life?
For me, my motivation is my guru, Mahatria. I see him, I get motivated, I keep changing my referral, keep changing my Z-axis, and I move on. He is the biggest motivation.
Everyone should have at least one Z-axis guru in their life to grow. That's the very good motivation.
100%.
The next one is top 3 experience you cherished in your career life.
As I told you, my biggest turning point was me joining Alma Mater, which is now named as Infinitism. That was the biggest turning point, and I always cherish that decision. And then starting my own venture, Jane's Car Shop, in the year 2000. And after that, the third I will actually tell is holding on to the path Infinitism. See, I have joined Infinitism 25 years back.
Okay.
Until now, I have been holding on to that path, and like a baby monkey, I stuck it into it and keep following that. And that is actually making me grow.
Joining a path is different, but staying for such a long period is a very good it's an inspiration for us. It shows that you should stay with a person for a longer period of time to show who you are actually.
So my say is, if you are in connect with any of your guru, your faith has to be full, because the faith only works. Whatever faith or connect you have, let the faith be total.
So the next one is, what is your tip to the youth on selecting their career life? Your advice on them on selecting their career life?
You want me to tell this in one sentence? This is quite a bigger question. Anyhow, I'll tell. See, today I have noticed that most of the youth want to go for a job. I am strictly against them. No.
Okay.
You have to be an entrepreneur. My say or my message to them is, you should be an entrepreneur where you should be providing jobs to people. But I'm seeing today younger generations, even in our community, where they say that the business is in the blood itself, but people are opting for jobs.
Exactly.
Big no to them. Please be an entrepreneur. Maybe the organizations may be smaller, bigger, that is different. But definitely you have to be an entrepreneur. You have to give jobs to others. That should be your thought pattern.
The interesting part of the interview. What do you love about Sushil Mehta?
See, if I keep myself away from Sushil Mehta, what I like is Sushil Mehta is an honest, a God-loving and people-loving person. never think anything bad or negative about anyone. Always try to find positive from other, think from other person's perspective, always think good of others. So this is the quality, and lives a holistic life.
Thank you. And the last one is, what is your secret to the success in life?
Secret of success in life is what next, what more. Once I achieve something, my immediate question to my own self is what next, what more. And another aspects, because I have gone through this many a times, that where I feel I may not be able to do that, the other side is quite the goal is quite bigger. At that time, one value system which I learned again from Infinitism: it does not matter how much I have, what really matters is what I do with what I have. And with this confidence, I keep moving, and definitely I think that is the biggest secret of success of my life, that gives a great power and confidence to my thinking pattern, and makes me move on.
So it was wonderful hosting you, sir. We have come to an end of the show. At a very short level of time, I know you have much more to tell to the younger generation, but at the given time, you have given very big, impactful experiences of yours to the next generation. I hope this will make them a new them in their life to grow up very big and make a very very big in life. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gulshan. Thanks for inviting me. And wishing, since your interview goes mostly towards the younger generation, so I wish the younger generation a great future. Go towards your passion, do SWOT analysis, and go for your goal. Definitely, you should follow your passion. Wish them all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It's a talk show, Talk with Gulshan Bafna.